Hello students, welcome for the class of literary forms. In this class, we are going to study the literary forms, one of the literary forms, that is essay. So let's begin. As you can see there, many literary forms we are supposed to study. Major of them are essay, novel, tales, legends, epic, tragedy, comedy, tragicomedy, farce, sonnet, lyric, etc. Let's begin about the discussion about essay. And yes, as you can see, what is an essay? It is any brief composition in prose that undertakes to discuss a matter, express a point of view, or persuade us to accept a thesis on any subject whatever. In this competitive world, you can frequently hear the word essay. Yes, in the examinations like a police sub inspector or KS, they were supposed to write an essay. But in literature, what is essay? We are going to study the theory of essay. And what is essay? It is a composition in prose which studies about a particular matter, which gives introduction, makes development, and it concludes. It's literally an essay. So this term and the form is invented by Montaigne, Montaigne's great essays in 1580. That is a Frenchman, and adopted into in English by Bacon, Francis Bacon. And this the title essays means attempts. You should know. You should remember the name. Essays means attempts. And the essay differs from a treatise or dissertation. These two things you will definitely come to know later, student friends. And dissertation is something different from treatise and essay, right? Essay differs from these. And there are two types of essays: the formal essays and informal essays. Let's see what is the formal essay. The formal essay, it's relatively impersonal. The author writes as a knowledgeable man on the subjects and expounds it in an ordered and thorough fashion. It differs from a it doesn't have any personal touch. Someone who is very knowledgeable profounds or proposes or states his subject in a thorough fashionable way, right? And you can see the examples in any serious articles on current topics and issues in any of the magazines addressed to a thoughtful audience. In Karnataka, we can see in the newspapers there will be a discussion, an article on any matter in all the newspapers like Prajavani, Vijay Karnataka, so and so forth. Okay, you can also see those essays or articles or formal essays in Deccan Herald as well as the Hindu papers. Okay, yes, their example is Harper's Commentary, that is Scientific American, it's a magazine. You can see there, it's a formal essay and the informal essay. Now, here the author assumes a tone of intimacy with his audience, tends to be concerned with day-to-day things rather than public affairs. Very important is informal essay deals with day-to-day things rather than the public affairs or specialized topics, and writes in a relaxed, self-revelatory fashion. As you can see, the essays you study for your syllabus, that is the informal essay. You can study them, yes, and that will be very nearest and dearest to our day-to-day life. That is how the informal essays goes on. We can find the examples of this type in a day-to-day newspapers and magazines like the New Yorker, right? You can also find the examples of informal essays. Yes. Now essay in English. In English means in English literature. Francis Bacon in the late 16th century inaugurated the English use of the term in his own series of essays. He has written a number of essays on different types of very near topics, right? And his most famous essays are short comments on subjects of everyday. He has written essays on love, on study, on reading, and on man, so on and so forth, right? Best example of his essays are on truth, marriage and single life, half study, and there are you can study. You can look into the book Francis Bacon's essays. Yes. Now Alexander Pope adopted this term in his expository compositions in verse. Alexander Pope has written essays in verse, not in prose form. He has written the verse form of the essay on criticism and essay on man. These two are in verse, you should remember. Yes. And Edison and Steele's Tatler. These were the Tatler and the Spectator were the magazines on those days. Famous magazines with their many successors gave essay its a standard modern vehicle. These two publications of as Edison and Steele made the essay very famous. Now, Charles Lamb, Hazlitt, De Quincey brought the personal essay to level that has remained unsurpassed. Charles Lamb has written so much of essays as well. His personal essays are called Essays of Elia. These writers were of the great literary figures of that period, as we know being the students of literature. Lamb's essays are famous as Essays of Elia and the last Essays of Elia. Yes. Now there were formal essayists also. To name a few are George Orwell, M. Foster, James Turner, and E.B. White. These people also have written some formal essays. These are excellent practitioners of the this formal essay. Now some essays of famous essays to tell about something is Francis Bacon's essays of love, of friendship, of beauty, etc. And Hazlitt has written the essays on the love of country, on writers and writing, so on and so forth. Charles Lamb, Dream Children, a famous essay. It's an essay in which dream children, that is, the children are not at all children; they are the dream only of the lamb, and in that essay he dreams of the dream. Really wonderful essay, you should read it. Reverie, Captain Jackson, and so much bunch of essays he has written. Thomas De Quincey has written a famous essay, Confessions of an Opium Eater, and The English Mail Coach, wonderful essays. And George Orwell's Politics and the English Language, that is formal essay, you can study them. Reflections on Gandhi, very famous essay. And now this is all about essays. It is a very simple thing. Being the students of literature, we should know something about the term essay. And if you want to learn more about the essay, you can look into the book A Glossary of Literary Terms by M.H. Abrams and Oxford Dictionary of Literary Terms by Chris Baldrick, and you can also search them online information. Yes, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much. We'll meet you in the next form.